Hey YouTube, in this video I'm going to be showing you some options in the category of small fixed blade knives. These are going to be knives with blade lengths anywhere between, like, let's say 2 3/4 inches up to at most 3 1/2 inches in blade length. And these are all going to be non-tactical. These are going to be mostly knives to be used as tools. Okay, so I'm not going to include my daggers and push daggers. That will have to be saved for another video, right? Now, all of these knives would have basically an outdoor survival or outdoor camping or bushcrafting application. And some of these could also serve double duty as small fixed blade everyday carry knives. Mainly the ones with the smaller handles could do both. And I've tried to include a range of different options as far as the prices, okay? So some budget items, some nicer items. All right, let's go through all of these. Oh, and that Gerber knife up there, it couldn't fit in the shot, so I put it up there, but I will show you it. All right, first knife. This is my ESEE Izula II Classic knife. Main difference between this and the Azula, the handle is a little bit longer and it comes with the handle scales. So I got that because I knew I was just going to want those anyway. A classic knife with a moderate price. Alright, the has a nice traction coating, classic drop point design, very handy, very useful. Nice finger groove there. And the Azula and Izula II, they've been used and proven by many people. So you might want to consider the Azula II. It's moderately priced, great little outdoor survival knife, and also a great little fixed blade EDC. Alright, and if you want a budget alternative to the Azula and Izula II, this is the backpacker knife by Benchmark. Not Benchmade, Benchmark. Separate company. You can get this for $15. I've even seen it for like 10 or 12 sometimes. Alright, and it is China made, but it is a high carbon steel, full Tang, and it's a very nice knife for the price. As I said, this is kind of a nice budget version of the Azula or that Azula II. Very similar, they're very similar in terms of blade shape and in terms of just overall size. Alright, and another super popular small fixed blade EDC knife, the K-Bar Becker BK11. These handle scales, micarta handle scales, are sold separately, but I highly recommend them. If you're using it as a neck knife, you don't want the scales because you want it to lie flat. But if you're wearing it on your belt, the scales are great. They look nice and provide a much better grip, palm swell. And you can see the nice full flat grind on that. Strong drop point. Very popular knife. Moderate price. So consider the BK11, also known as the Becker Necker. Alright, and this knife is the BlackJack Model 155 neck knife, and the steel is 154 cm. It has a convexed edge, very nice. You can buy these scales separately, and I definitely recommend getting the scales too. And I've done a full review of this. This is an excellent knife. If you're interested in it, just check out the review, get the lowdown. But suffice it to say, I've always been impressed I have 3 knives from BlackJack so far, and they make some impressive stuff. This knife is the DPX Hest Knife, Hostile Environment Survival Tool, designed by Robert Pelton. And it's very similar. It's a drop point. It's very similar to a slightly larger Izula, but with a much longer handle. All right, so you could think of it as kind of a, you know, a Magnum Izula, or an Izula but with a full-size handle. And this would be, well, obviously it gives you a better grip, a little bit harder to carry, obviously a little bulkier. And especially if you're a guy who has very large hands, you know, this might be essential. Right? And I believe they have reintroduced this. I believe they even have a model now that has a better steel. This is a high carbon steel. Alright, it's a DPX Hest Knife. Alright, and I've also done a full review of this knife, so I'll just show it briefly. The tops, Mil-Spie 3. This is 154 cm, black traction coating. Full Tang. Micarta handle scales. Super strong. Look how thick. And if you're looking for an ultra heavy duty, hard use small outdoor fixed blade, this is the one you want. This is probably, just as far as being a sharpened pry bar, this is probably the most beefy and durable of all these. Alright, so if you're interested, just check out the full review. Alright, and this interesting little knife, you see it as a drop point, very similar blade shape to the Izula and to the Hest. And this is an extreme budget option. I'm only including this for those that are on super tight budgets. This is a $3 knife. It comes with a fire starter, which does work. And these knives are sold on Amazon, usually under the name of something like Full Tang 7-inch survival knife. Right, and they have Tanto versions, drop point. This particular one, when it arrived, it didn't have any edge. It was defective. So be prepared. You're going to have to do some work on it. But as you can see, I put an edge on it. I mean, it had no bevel. It had no bevel at all. Okay, so I put an edge on it. But yes, the $3 budget option. The Benchmade Nim Cub II, an excellent small fixed blade. As I said, most of these are pretty much everyday carry, you know, small fixed blade utility or outdoor tools. But this could actually do double duty as a boot knife. So this would be excellent for soldiers because it can be used as a last-ditch boot knife, and could also be used for utility, for you know, food prep, eating utensil, cutting cordage. It's extremely lightweight, as the hollow GTX handles, or they feel hollow, the scales, but it's ultra lightweight. This is, even with the sheath, there's a lot of folding knives that are heavier than this. This knife is known as the Anza Small Hunter. Look at the unique grind on that. That portion, you know, the grind is hollow, and then there's the edge bevel, and then look how far from the edge bevel to the actual, you know, edge. Very unique, but a lot of Anza knives are like that. These are made from files, which are 1095 high carbon steel. Right, and you see the tip is swept back slightly, little thumb ramp. Beautiful laminated wood handle scales, Full Tang, obviously, made in 2011. And it has a very smooth, almost feels varnished. That's to give you comfort during prolonged use. Could be used as a small skinning knife or just a small, you know, outdoor utility. All right, and Anza sells many different models. Okay, so they probably have 3 or 4 different blade designs in the same size category. So I just figured I'd show one to represent this brand. It's little known, but it is a high quality brand. All right, so the Anza Small Hunter. All right, you older guys might recognize what this knife is. It's the Sharpfinger, a very classic American design. All right, see Full Tang, obviously, and you see it is a swept back tip design. Now, unfortunately, you know, Sharpfingers, they used to be made in America, but these days they are made or sold by Schrade, by Meyerco, by Kissing Crane. All three of those companies do import them, all right, from China. But it is, you know, that's why this is a very inexpensive option. It's a budget option. You can get these for 12 to 15 depending on the model. I was a little skeptical, but this did come razor sharp. Alright, so the Sharpfinger, you know, at least it's still sharp. It's not the dull finger. And like I said, it is a classic design because it's so functional, obviously, as a great slicer. And like I said, this is a budget option, $12 to $15. Alright, and speaking of traditional designs, you know, I had to include one Scandinavian knife. This is the Marttiini 571. They go for $15. It has a Scandi Grind. Now you might be asking, what about Mora knives? Mora knives are great knives. Most of the best models of Mora knife are actually closer to 4 inches. Alright, so I will definitely include some Mora knives if I ever do like a slightly larger size category collection review. Alright, but a lot of the best Moras are actually would be one size category above this current one. Alright, but this one fits right in. Great budget option, Marttiini 571. Alright, and last but not least, this is that Gerber knife. It is the S30V Gerber Freeman, made in the USA. These are sold through Cabela's, and they bring these back a few months before Christmas every year. And I don't know if they're sold anywhere else but Cabela's, but this is the classic Freeman, but with S30V steel. And you know, it's a drop point. Is it sharp? Well, yeah, I mean, of course it is. It's freaking, I think these are about $100, at least they were when I got it. Yeah, that S30V is a great upgrade to the Freeman. You know, the normal Freemans that are $440, they go for about $15, but yeah, it's definitely worth it to get made in the USA, S30V, Cocobolo handles. They look awesome. Great gift, but also great little camp knife, Skinner, great little small outdoors fixed blade. Alright, so there you go. A dozen small-sized fixed blade knives that I think would have a great application as outdoor camping and utility type knives, outdoor survival, and a lot of these could do double duty as everyday carry, small fixed blades. If you want to know, the short answer, my favorite ones, if I had to go out into the wilderness, I would take either the Scandi knife, alright, the Marttiini 571, or I would take the BlackJack 155 neck knife. Why is that? Well, because of the Scandi edge on the one and the convex edge on the other. Both of those are monster slicers, and I'm one of those people that believes that your chopping and, if needed, batoning would be done by a larger fixed blade. So when I look for a small fixed blade, I'm looking for a slicer. I'm looking for, I don't need chopping or batoning with this size. I'm looking for the monster slicers. So those are the two that would be my top picks. Alright, I hope you enjoyed seeing all these knives and the discussion and comparisons. Stay tuned for many more videos. I'm out of here, guys. Peace out.